Hey, everybody, welcome to the Glen Kuiper Show on a Wednesday night. We appreciate you stopping by. We had a great show on Monday night with Dave Fleming. Last night, we covered a whole bunch of baseball and some NFL stuff. And tonight, we have another very special guest who we are going to introduce in just a moment. But before we do that, let's get right to our sponsors before we get the show started, starting with Tilden Properties. By investing with Tilden Properties, you'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. They are Bay Area based. They are family owned, and Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. Check out their portfolio at tildenproperties.com or give them a call at 925-209-8558. We are also brought to you by the Carrig Real Estate Team, who have been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service since 1978. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the Carrig Real Estate Team to guide you home. Call them at the number 925-548-4132. And we are also brought to you by Valone Insurance. If you're being overcharged on property insurance, check out Valone Insurance. They got multiple options for your home and landlord properties. Save big money on property insurance with Valone Insurance. Call Kyle or Ron at 925-433-8271. Thanks, as always, to our great sponsors. I'm Glen Kuiper, and our special guest tonight, Giants fans, you know all about this guy. He's one of our favorites, all-time good guy. He's Jeremy Affeldt, the big left-hander, joining us from the great state of Texas. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, so my son, who goes to school in Oklahoma, a couple weekends ago says, Dad, me and my buddies were taking a trip to go hunting. I said, well, okay, where are you going? I need to know. And he says, we're going to Gonzales, Texas.
Gonzales, yeah.
That's where Affeldt lives, or close to it. Am I right?
Close, Bernie. Yeah, we're in the hill country. Gonzales isn't, it's close-ish, but it's definitely in the area. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Not too bad. Well, he'll have some good hunting down there.
He survived the hunting trip, which is the most
important. Good. There's some good deer over there.
So we're going to talk about the Giants. We're going to talk about the new manager, but tonight, more importantly, we're going to talk about your new book. Jeremy Affeldt is now an author. Listen, 14 years in the big leagues, 7 years with the Giants. We know how important you are to the Giants, but I'm dying to know about the book. And my first question is, why? What made you say, I want to write a book? The book is called Built for the Storm by Jeremy Affeldt. Tell us why.
Yeah, it's actually my second book. I wrote a book way back about 2012 called To Stir a Movement. And it was just my thoughts on why I joined the movement of injustice, right? So why I dealt with a lot of human trafficking, and I helped out with a lot of that. And some of it was being in San Francisco, spurred my passion for that. But this one here is a little different. I think when, after coming out of baseball, you're retired and you thought you dealt with a lot. And then just, I had the worst storm of my life about 5 years ago. I don't think it's a secret. People know I got divorced, and I'm a family guy. I loved my family. I don't believe in divorce. I still don't believe in divorce, and I'm getting divorced, so it was a crazy storm. But for me, when I thought about it, took me about 3 years. So the last 3 years, I probably rewrote it twice. I just wanted to make sure I want my sons to read this book. And when I think about what I went through, and the devastation of that. I mean, it was a 22-year deal, right? I was married for 22 years at the time, and 3 boys. I mean, and they went through it. I mean, these guys lived it, and it was tough on them. And so for me, what I learned in that was about the Buffalo mentality. I learned about, how Buffaloes act and how they react. And one of the coolest things that happened to me in therapy is I was sitting with my therapist, and I was just devastated because I've been through several storms. I've been through a lot of storms in my life. I've dealt with a lot. Just being a military kid and living in Guam, I've been almost attacked by a shark. I was attacked by a hammerhead. I got swiped up by a guy on a surfboard. That kept me from that. I've been sucked out to sea when I was in Guam, where I had to get rescued from that. I've been hit head on in a car wreck. Should have died, walked away from it. There's just a lot of things that I'd gone through, but never anything, that was very traumatic to where it almost knocked me so hard where I almost felt like just giving up, not physically. It wasn't suicidal, but I just felt like giving up emotionally. I felt like giving up, just mentally. And I had these 3 boys I was raising, and that did it to me. And my therapist handed me this article one day, and she said, I want you to go read this article. I want you to take it home, read it. And then we're going to talk about it in the next session. And I'm on my way home from my therapist, and Matt Cain gives me a call.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he texted me because I didn't tell anybody what was happening. They didn't know. And these are my closest friends, Buster, Matt Cain. None of these guys knew at the time what had happened. Yeah. And I just wouldn't talk to him. And Matt reached out and he said, hey, man, I know you're going through a really, really tough time right now, and you're not connecting with us. I just want to tell you I love you. But I think you should read this article that the sports psychologist for the team, Matt was still playing at the time, he said that gave us this article today. I want you to read it. And it was the same exact freaking article.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, damn. I mean, I got the same article. I probably should read it, So I read it, and it was on the buffalo mentality. And it was about how when the storms come over the Rocky Mountains, buffaloes are the only animals, they're the only mammals in North America that when they see a storm, they run right at it. And cows run away from it. Cows run, and they get scattered. And what happens is when the buffalo, they herd up, they get in a herd, and they literally go right at it, because they know that if they go at the storm passes over them a lot quicker. Well, cows run from it, and they run, they get scared, and they get scattered. They don't herd up. Your young ones go out, they lose their cows. The bulls can't find them. The bulls get scattered. The young ones get taken out by predators. They get sick. They actually get really sick. And they get lost, scattered, everything. And the guy said, hence his life, right? Like when storms come at us, we can do one of 2 things. We can run from them, or we can charge them. And he goes, and if you're a buffalo and you run at them, it'll pass over you. You'll be weathered, you'll be beat up, and it is what it is, but you will become better because of it. And you'll literally bask in the sunlight because it passes over you because you ran at it. But if you run from your storms, you die. Emotionally, suicide rates way high. Physically, you'll die. Mentally, you'll die. Relationally, you'll die. And so it was something that I really gravitated towards. And I built a whole speaking kit. I mean, I speak on this stuff. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to write the book. But it is not a tell-all. It's not about my divorce. It's not about what happened. I want my sons to read it. So I would never do that to my ex-wife. I don't want my sons to ever read anything negative, right? Sure. So for me, it was just, this is a storm that we went through. How did I handle that storm? But how do we handle storms in life? And why do we handle them the way we do? And are you built for storms, no matter what they are? And are you a buffalo? And I want people to know they're built for it and to take storms on. I mean, I have stories in there about baseball. I was thrown into storms. I mean, shoot, Bochy put me in a storm every other day, that's just, but that was our job, right? But the ones that can actually handle it, they're built for it, and they know they're built for it. And I mean, I got a great story in there of an Indian chief that came up to me when I was actually telling the story to 3 different tribes of American Indians in San Francisco at the stadium. And I sat with them, and I was scared to death because honestly, let's think about it. Here's this white guy telling Indians about a buffalo. That's not going to, honestly, it probably won't go over real well. And I was like, I was scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst situation. But I did it. And an Indian chief did an amazing thing. And you'll read the story in the book. I got the necklace that he gave me. I mean, what he did to me absolutely broke me and brought me to my knees. I cried with him. I mean, it was awesome. And all that's in the book. And it's just telling people that you're built for it, man. You're built for storms. We can do this. We just have to charge them and not run from them.
All right. So the name of the book, again, Built for the Storm. Follow Jeremy's journey from the mound to a place of purpose where resilience meets faith and restoration. So it's good stuff. And as you see on our ticker, you can buy the book at jeremyaffeldt.com/books. So, go to there, check out the book. It sounds awesome. And it sounds to me, Jeremy, like maybe writing this book was pretty therapeutic for you. Would that be
it? Was massively therapeutic. But it was to a point where it's like when my sons read this book, or my son, so I've done the Audible. I read it. I actually read the Audible for it. So you can get it on Audible stuff too. You can get it on audiobooks, and it's my voice, because I thought that would be very important. And to be honest with you, because my oldest son does a lot of Audible stuff.
Yeah.
And I want my sons to realize, like, this is how you take on. So if I have to leave something with my sons, if I die tomorrow and a bus hits me and my sons have my voice, this is what I want them to hear. And that's how I wrote the book. And when you buy it through my website, I sign every copy. I sign every single copy if you buy it through the website. And because it's that important for me, and the message is super important. I want people to know I put my stamp on this. It's not just a book I threw out there. This took a lot of thought and a lot of my emotion to write. So I was pretty excited about it.
And I think too, and I have a lot of respect for you for opening up about stuff like this. First of all, a lot of people, but maybe even men more so, maybe opening up, it may make them feel like, oh, I'm kind of weak. I'm a dude. I got to be strong, right?
Yeah.
And for you being a former professional athlete, maybe that even makes it more like, whoa, man, I'm not gonna bring that up. No way. That's not cool, and that makes me look weak and all that. So I give you a lot of credit for really going in the opposite direction and saying, no, this actually makes me stronger, makes me a better person, I think. And listen, I get what you're talking about a little bit. I mean, I've gone through a few things in the last 3-4 years with
absolutely
with my work, unfortunate stuff. So I kind of get it. You got to just stand up and say, you know what, this is what I am, and I know what I am.
That's right.
They know me, feel about it. So I get a little bit where you're coming from. That's what life does. It throws you a challenge once in a while, and I think you need to stand up and make sure people know what you're all about and who you really are. And I felt like I needed to do that a little bit too, and
and you should. It's important.
I get what you're saying, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and storms are inevitable. They're gonna come. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You could be living the highest. I mean, people are gonna sit there and say, "Oh man, you're a Major League Baseball player. Like, what kind of storms are you dealing with?" Like a lot. We actually do. It doesn't matter.
To me, that's sort of a shallow way to really for people to look at it. Just because you're a Major League Baseball player, you don't have anything going on. Quite frankly, you may have more stuff going on.
That's right.
An athlete than somebody who's maybe not doesn't do that for a living, or maybe doesn't make the kind of money that professional athletes make. That doesn't make them immune to certain storms that come blowing your way, and you got to be ready for them. So I get where you're coming from a little bit here.
Yeah, I listened to a guy that was pretty cool. He was on Instagram the other day, and I need to find out who he is, because he's really good. I was reaching the clip, and he said to everybody, he goes, life is difficult, regardless of whether you do. You're going to have difficult either way. Like, he said, it's difficult to work out, or it's difficult to be out of shape. It's difficult to eat right, or it's difficult to be sick all the time. It doesn't matter. It's difficult. You choose your difficult. And when he said that, I was like thinking about, I was like, man, this is pretty impressive, man. Like it's difficult. Relationships are messy. They're very difficult, but you can have difficulty in taking on that challenge and running that gauntlet with your wife, or you can have the opposite happen. It's difficult. Like with your kids, raising kids is difficult. Like it is so awesome what he said, because I was like, man, life's going to come at you. You're either going to run from the storm, or you're going to charge the storm. Either way, the storm is there. It's going to be there. Like it doesn't go away. And the one thing that charging storms do is give you that vulnerability, like you said, where it's like, hey, I need help. Buffalo's running herds. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to let people in on what I'm dealing with. And this is just who I am. Like you were saying, Kuip, like this is who I am. And yeah, it didn't work. It sucks, but this is who I am, where I am right now. And I need friends. I need people to love on me. I need to help me get through a storm. Or you can isolate yourself and run from it. And it's going to be difficult then too. But the worst is that, right? Like I would hate to go through anything in isolation, but we'll do it a lot because we're afraid of what people are going to think. And the opposite is actually true. I want people to know. And that's what I do in this book, is encourage people to, man, just be you. Like, if they don't like you because of the storm that you're in, they don't need to be in your circle anyway. Like, it's a waste of time. Like, I'm going to hang out with people that are going to surround me and hang out with me and love on me no matter what my storm is. And that's kind of what I found out of this. And that's what the book's kind of about.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So really, I mean, this is not, or is it a little bit of a baseball book?
It's got baseball stories, because what I've learned, and what that Indian chief was awesome. What he told me, he's a big Giants fan. And I told this whole story in the book. It's phenomenal. And when he came up to me and he basically said, "I've always seen you as a Buffalo," I remember crying. He's like, "Man, you were put in some crazy situations." And if you think about it, like, I was built for that. Like, fight or flight is literally what you're put into in baseball. You're in that. As a reliever brought in some of the games we were brought into, that was literally all it was. It was fight or flight. And I fought it. I took it on. Once I got put into a game, I did better when it was a close game, because I feel like I liked the storm. I didn't like 10-0 ball games. I didn't want to pitch in a 10. A lot of times when Bochy would put me, he'd call down and he'd be like, "Hey, you want to pitch?" And I'd never volunteer to pitch. I learned my lesson. Every time I volunteered to pitch, I gave up 5 earnings. I'm like, I'm not volunteering to pitch that game. Like, if you want me to
learn your lesson.
yeah, you put me in the game. I'm not volunteering anything, because I just didn't like 10-0 ball games. I just didn't get up for it. But the 2-1 ball game, whatever it was, I went at it, and that's what I was built for that, And so for me, I was always built. And when that Indian chief came up to me and he put his hand on my chest, man, and he put this necklace on me, it has changed my life. And like I said, to this day, I have a photo of the guy. Like, I've never seen him again, ever. I wish I could, because I'd like to let him know that I wrote a book. And a lot of it was encouraged by him. And because it is baseball stories of, like, man, I've always been this way. And what I learned in baseball actually allowed me to be able to take on some of my concepts that I've taught on, or I've learned from the baseball life, and how I handled high pressure situations is exactly how I handled this divorce in a way that protected my sons. And I found you've met my wife. I mean, she's a beautiful lady. Awesome. I mean, there's so many things that I'm thankful for, that because of it, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I definitely wouldn't change anything, because I think I'm a better man. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better friend. I have more empathy for certain situations now, especially divorce or loss of spouse, whatever it is, death or divorce. I have more empathy now for that than I ever have. And I think that makes me a better person.
Well, just so you know, Jeremy, I did meet your wife, your second wife. She's phenomenal. We met her in fantasy camp. And I just want you to know that all of the coaches and the fantasy camp coaches, including me, we all like your wife more than we like you. And we like you a lot.
I wouldn't doubt it. Well, she wins y'all money.
Oh, man. Yeah. You want to talk about somebody who's a rock star at the casino.
Yeah.
Jeremy Affeldt's a rock star at the casino.
Yeah.
She's a great lady. But so again, the book is called Built for the Storm. And as you see on the ticker, you can buy the book at jeremyaffeldt.com/books. Jeremy Affeldt, capital J, capital A.com/books. And that's good stuff. I appreciate you not being afraid to, again, open up. And obviously you opened up a lot to write a book about difficulties in your life and how you handle those difficulties. And
right.
I did. I was looking forward to having you on, because I feel a little bit what you went through.
Yes, sir.
I just do. I kind of get it. So good stuff. Get the book if you can, folks. And it's Jeremy Affeldt, man. He's a star. Let's check in with we like comments, Jeremy. We got good viewers. Got over 10,000 subscribers now in less than 7 months, and
awesome.
People are checking in, so it's been good. Let's do this one here. Jeremy, there's years ago, but thank you for throwing a ball to me when I came to visit from Japan. Javi Lopez later signed that ball, my favorite Giants memory. So a ball from Jeremy signed by Javi. It doesn't get any better than that.
It was probably during BP. I threw a lot of balls away because the more I threw away, the better we got canceled BP. So every time we had BP, I did Fan Appreciation Day. So it was.
I love it. You'll like Steve Sorensen. We know Steve, right? I have one of the books coming from my daughters for Christmas. Are you both coming to fantasy camp?
Yeah.
Steve, I am.
I just signed that book today for him.
Good.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah,
Good.
I just signed it, but yes, we will be there. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. So
Middle of January. I'm hearing, Jeremy, that there's close to 80 campers, which is
wow.
That's what we need, right? We
we give what about 10 more people for Contos to hit? It'd be great.
George Contos. What a guy. Here's Bake That Dough. He gives us a super chat, Jeremy. Thank you for sharing your experiences and all you've done for San Francisco. Now I'll go cut some frozen patties while sneezing and straining my oblique.
That's a fact. That's true story.
That's a good one.
That's a good story. It happened.
You know, Bake That Dough is great. He doesn't miss much. So
yeah, that's awesome.
What he's doing is he's busting your balls. Is what he's doing.
That's right. That's right. I don't actually freeze any of my patties anymore. I let them fully thaw out now before I throw them on the grill. So it's good.
You learned your lesson. So that's good. So, all right. So let's get to the Giants. And we always like to talk to you about that. New manager, Tony Vitello, big deal here. College coach coming in. Just your initial thoughts when the Giants pulled this off and Buster stepped out of the norm a little bit and said, you know what, this is the guy I'm going with.
You know what? I at first, I'll be honest with you. I don't second guess Buster a lot. I think he's a very intelligent baseball guy. I don't think he's afraid to take risks. I think he did it. He took a risk. Mm-hmm. At first, there's a lot of things that went through my head, man. When I was hearing that it was even going to happen, my first thought was like, man, that's a huge risk. Just because college and the MLB are completely different baseball. I mean, I know there's kids that nowadays only play like 1 year in the minors and go to the big leagues, but the overall game is different. Mm-hmm. And so my only questions were when he was hired, and this is before I heard the interview. There were several. There was like, man, I get it. He's a baseball guy. He's got to have baseball knowledge. Buster was not going to hire. It's not like he went to some 6U baseball team over there and Lafayette hired a guy, right? So he has baseball knowledge. Some players have played under him. However, it's not the same. And he had not done anything in the minor leagues. He hasn't been with professional athletes. Can he manage one at a 162 game plus, hopefully more than that level, not a 56 or whatever they have in college. And two, you have to be able to gain the trust of guys at a whole nother level. This isn't a junior in college that you can go right in and toe the line with him and say, you're going to do what I ask you to do. Because this is, and all these, tell a $30 million player, do what I tell you to do or else. He's going to look at you and he's going to say, I don't think you understand. Here's my contract. Mm-hmm. You're not going to do anything, like it's really tough for this sometimes. And what he has to figure out to do is gain the trust. So that was all my thoughts were like, man, Buster, this is a huge, and I didn't contact Buster. He had a lot going on at the time. I've talked to him since, but my first thought is like, man, are we understanding that it is outside the box and I'm okay with it. The risk is fine. But these are the questions that I would need to have answered. And I'm sure they got answered. If I'm asking them, I'm sure Buster asked him. I'm sure there's a lot of guys already asked him. But when I heard his interview, what changed some of my perspective was when he said, I know this is a risk. I know this is a risk for the Giants and for Buster, but it's also a risk for me and my family. Like it's a risk for me too. I'm leaving a pretty cush job. Yeah. Over there. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't like he was getting a second job in the off season. He's pretty good and he had a cush job to take this job. So he's leaving it to learn something else. And when he said, I understand the risk and I'm willing to take that on, that's kind of right up my alley, and so that kind of won me over. And the other one that won me over was when Madden was on there and he was talking about how he was kind of insulted that, he had to go through.
Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah. Go through all these ranks. And I'm like, all right, that's insulting. Great. And I said, but what was really awesome is when he saw the Vitello comment, it's like, Well, I hope he'll still take my call because I
Tree
really
man.
liked him.
Yeah, Tree man. I loved it.
That's as good as it gets.
I don't think he was firing back at Ben. I think he really said he was somebody I wanted to call. I mean, I think he was insincere. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. But to make that comment to me, that's what I see. He's got it up there a little bit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
all right, I'll give it to this guy. The only the battle he has right now, which I'm sure he knows it, and Buster knows it, is it's going to be an off season. It's going to be busy because he's got to try to get to every one of these vets and be like, listen, I need you to get on board. How can I gain your trust? What do I got to do? Because these guys got to trust him because he's going to go into a big league ball game, and I've seen it happen. He's going to go in, and he's going to get into an umpire's face, and the umpire's just going to look at him and be like, who are you? Like, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be a tough battle that way, but if he can gain the players' respect, even the umpires start to come around if he sees that the players respect him as well. And so I think it's going to be a lot of busyness of that. And how he runs camp, I think, is going to be a big deal. And I'm not knocking anything last year, but I went into camp last year, and I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with the guys. I enjoyed talking to the guys. What I did, I mean, I just thought it was too lax. I really do. I felt like, hey, man, like there's these guys are just hanging out. Like we need to get guys ready to be in a big league ball game, disciplined, understanding what they need to do, team camaraderie, like. And I just didn't feel that it was like that as much with the players. And I'm hoping that he can kind of gin that up again.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And listen, he's got a lot of energy, but it's legitimate energy. And I say this all the time, Jeremy, and I've said it to you. Big league players are very, very smart. They see things like that. They see a teammate and they know what they're all about. It doesn't take much. You can't get much by you guys, especially when you're together for 7-8 months.
Right.
So if you were, let's say you were on the Giants and you're one of the guys that's going to show up in spring training, what would you be looking for from Vitello as a manager? Maybe you've talked to him on the phone a couple times, but now you're seeing him in uni, in the dugout, spring training. What are you watching for?
Consistent leadership, like not wishy-washy, like own it and don't apologize for it. Like, this is what we're going to do. These are our workouts. These are how we're going to do it. We're just going to go do these things. And the coaches I'd be looking to see how the coaches react to him because it's super important, but consistent. Be consistent. And it doesn't have to be a rah-rah message. It has to be a give me something to follow. Like, let me buy into it. But you got to have fun. Don't be so serious and angry. Like, hey, we're going to have some fun out here. However, I literally want to see your passion to win, you know, and that comes from discipline. And I'm telling you, like, hey, man, if we have to go do drills, then have us do drills. And I mean, I do. When I was my last 6-7 years, did I want to be out there in spring training doing drills? No, I didn't. Like, I didn't want to, but I did them because that's what we were told to do. And I wanted to do them right. And coaches got on me and we took BP. Bochy went around, talked to guys, but it was still consistent. And we did defensive drills. We were out there shagging, being teammates, being camaraderie, having good meetings. Like, that's what I need to see. You know, I don't want to see you hiding in your office. I don't want to see you. I want you in with the players. I want to see consistent leadership on the field, and I want to show me you have the discipline to want to win, but then do it in a way that's not that's what I'm saying. But you got to do it where I don't feel like I'm on a college team. I'm not here saying batter. I don't have my hat inside out. I don't want to deal with that. I'm at the big leagues, man.
You don't want to hear swing better. You don't want to really.
I do not want to hear that. You know, I don't want to hear that stuff, man. Like, show me that you're willing to change that culture.
You know, what you're saying is interesting because it gives me the feeling like even though these guys are professional players, they're making millions and millions of dollars, and they may have been in the big leagues for 10 years, that players still want to be led, right? They still want their manager to lead them. It doesn't matter how old they are or how old your manager is. Players want to be led. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Because I could be a leader on the field. I get it, but I got to trust your decision. I got to trust when you're going to put me in a ball game.
Yeah.
So I might think I should be in right here, but if you don't put me in, I better know why. But I want to trust the fact that when I go in that ball game as a reliever, it's because you believe I can get these guys out. You're not just pulling names out of a hat. I got to trust that when you make a defensive adjustment, that you know why you're making that defensive adjustment. And I got to believe that when I got a starting pitcher out there, and do you leave him in or do you take him out? I don't know. You tell me. But I got to believe if you leave him in, you have a pretty good calculated risk. Why? Whether it be you looked in his eye and you said, the guy's like, you're not taking me out of this ball game. Or if you take him out, take him out. Don't apologize for it. I got to see that. Believe it or not, you got to see it and get into guys. If they freaking are being lazy and they're not running out balls, or they're taking bad swings at the plate, or they're throwing a pity party and a manager comes over or gets in his grill a little bit, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with something. But you got to show me that you're willing to, like, hey man, you put your money where your mouth is. Go out there and lead that team and want to win. Don't be afraid to get into umpires a little bit. I mean, don't be afraid to get after guys. Fight for your team. I got to see all of that, man. And that'll help quite a bit. And if you got a fiery manager, I got to see the fire, but I also have to see it. I know it's hard to say, but I got to see where there's a balance. I got to be able to see it where you're not, hey man, we're not at the college level. We're not going to run on a field. We're not going to, man, we're at a professional big league level where we're all supposed to, if I hit a homer, I'm going to run around the bases. Like I know be Buster. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Buster as a manager and how you handle it. And I think that's why Bochy's there. I think Bochy's there for that. And I think it's super important. That guy better he needs to listen to Boch, which I think he will. I don't think he won't, but that's a super important guy to kind of put right on your hip there and walk you through it. And I think he has a huge upside. I bought in. And I'm going to go into spring training. I've talked to Buster a little bit. I'm excited. He's going to have me back in there. And I will have no problem picking his brain and sitting with him and talking with him. And I hope he's willing to listen to me, or at least receive feedback.
Yeah, and I get the impression that Vitello is very smart, and that he gets the challenges that are going to be presented to him. And I like what he said. He didn't, he didn't do this whole, we're gonna beat the Dodgers, and none of that. Nobody cares about that, right? It was more like, I know this is difficult, but the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work hard every single day.
That's right.
And he kind of made the point of, listen, if I'm willing to work hard for a 50-game college baseball schedule, and working hard is in my DNA, then what makes you think I'm not going to work hard for a 160-game schedule?
That's right. That's right. And he wants to win. He wants to win.
Yeah. And I thought too, what I liked about it, and we don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? This could turn out to be a bad move. I don't think it's going to. But what I liked about it is Buster and his guys showed they are not afraid to make a move.
Right.
They did it with Devers, right? They were not afraid. And listen, as a player, Jeremy, don't you want to look at your baseball decision makers and maybe look at your manager and say, you know what? I don't want them to be afraid to make a move. Now, maybe it may turn out to be the wrong move once in a while, but don't be afraid.
That's right.
And to me, that's what I'm seeing from Buster and his people, that they believe in what they're doing and they're not afraid to take a shot. And I like that.
I agree. That was the biggest thing for me. I mean, Buster's never been he keeps everything close to the chest. He did it in this situation. He does it in every situation. There's not going to be a lot of leaking to the media or anything like that. I think but I think he's very methodical. I think he's calculated, and I don't think he has a problem taking risks. I think it's calculated risk. He's just not going to go up there and be like, I don't know, let's go hire this guy. It's not going to be how it works with him. And I think he knows the sense of urgency. I really do. I think he knows that what I think everybody's, I mean, the Dodgers winning again, you're like, daggum, like, let's at least figure out a way to like compete in our division where we don't make it such a cakewalk for these guys, you know? And so for me, I think he knows that. I think he knows what the fans are wanting. And I don't think he's going to make this risk where it looks like, oh man, he threw in the towel just right out the gate by hiring a college manager. That's not what he did there. And that's where I think people have to really trust him on that and I mean, Todd Helton, I said this other day, Todd Helton in his Hall of Fame speech, he called the guy out. And he's like, this guy's like one of the greatest managers in base. Like he actually named the guy. So obviously he's got some credibility and that's a Hall of Famer, you know? So I think I think there's a lot of upside. And I think that he didn't just, they knew what they were doing on this one. And I'm going to trust it. And if it works, it's going to change culture. And that was my thing with Madden's deal and the whole, like, you know, when he's talking about the whole, it's insulting. It's not insulting, man, because the reality of it is there's guys that are going to the Skeens, all these guys, Olerud, Alex Rodriguez played, 1 year in the minor leagues and went to the big leagues? I had to go 4 years, which wasn't a long time. Some guys have to go 8 or 10. It's just the game. It's just a game. You can't say like, oh, he should have to go through all these steps. No, you don't have to do anything. The game will dictate.
Yeah, there's no rule book that says you have to be in the minor leagues for 10 years as a manager before. I mean,
that's right.
And you know, listen, I mean, my thing with Joe Bannon, he was a very good manager, you know, but he said, you know, I didn't start managing way back in 1981. Well, that's 44 years ago. I mean,
yeah.
So anyway, but the final thing I want to ask you about is, see, I watch a college game now, and you played college baseball. I played it a long time ago. It's different now. And I think college baseball is closer now to professional baseball than it ever has. I mean, you watch a College World Series game, and you're probably watching a AA game.
That's talent-wise, you're right.
I think there's still a huge difference. I'm not trying to say,
but you're right. Yeah,
Vitello's going to be nothing's going to be new to him, but it is a closer game now. Yeah. Players are more professional ready now coming out of college than I think they've ever been.
I agree with that. Their swings are cut down. They don't have as long as swings. They've been playing in wood bat leagues in the summer. Mm-hmm. They're throwing 100 miles an hour. They're throwing nasty breaking balls. I mean, how many of these college kids are coming out and they're literally in the minor? There's a lot of them now. They're in the minor leagues, 1 or 2. They're going right to. I mean, they go get their feet wet and then they're in AAA. And next thing you know, they're just dominating. Like I agree. I think that the talent that they're using now is a lot more, because sports science has showed everybody this is the swing you have to have. These are the things you have to be at the big league level. Why don't we just do it now and then develop these kids at a college level? And so I agree with you. I think that he's dealt with big league talent. He's had it on the team and he's faced them. I mean, there's been big league talent. It's not anything like that. So that's why I think it's not a bad move.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, I'm going to let you go. Again, the book is Built for the Storm. Follow Jeremy's journey from the mound to a place of purpose where resilience meets faith and restoration. Good stuff, man. I mean, listen, I mean, we've become friends, but I'm proud of you for doing this, because I think it says a lot about you, what you're all about. I really think that,
Yeah. So, thank you, man. Well, I look forward to seeing you in January, man. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. We'll have some fun. We'll go to dinner again. And the night that you go to the casino with your wife, I'm coming along.
Yeah. Put some money down. She'll win some.
I want $100 turned into 500. Tell her that.
That's right. Awesome.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I'll see you in maybe a couple months in Arizona for the fantasy camp.
Awesome, my friend. Look forward to it.
All right, thanks. Jeremy Affeldt has been our guest again. You can get the books at jeremyaffeldt.com/books, and it's called Built for the Storm. Good stuff, Jeremy. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, so great. He's great. He's a baseball guy, but there's a lot more to him, as you find out just listening to him, and it's good stuff. So we appreciate Jeremy stopping by, promoting his book, and we'll help him promote it any way we can. We're certainly want to do that. So good stuff. And we thank Jeremy and we thank you for watching this Wednesday night edition of the Glen Kuiper Show. As we're going to let everybody head home. I'm going to do the same, have some dinner with my family, and enjoy the rest of the evening. But thanks for joining us again on the Glen Kuiper Show. Remember, on the YouTube channel, we got a whole bunch of new videos and new shorts that are going to be coming out in the next 3 or 4 days. So check it out. Good stuff is coming. I hope you enjoyed Dave Fleming on Monday. Hope you enjoyed our full baseball show last night. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's show with Jeremy Affeldt. That's it, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. And this is indeed the Glen Kuiper Show. We will see you down the road for our next edition of the show. Have a good one, everybody.